Beautiful. Thank you, Martha. She is the doll, isn't she? Yes. Yes, 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 yes. It's so good to see your smiling faces. I almost had my voice back. So happy New Year. I love seeing people on the first of the new year because why? What do you think? Because you love us. Well, yeah, I love you. Yeah, absolutely. Of course. It's because there's always hope at the beginning of a new year. Last week I said I don't make resolutions, but I make intentions. I make intentions. I was talking with my prayer partner the other night, and she said, what would you like prayer for? I said, you know what? Instead, I'm going to say an intention. She said, what's that? I said, I want some vibrancy and joy and lots of love in my life. I'm claiming that. She said, I love it. She said, I'm going to piggyback on you. Vibrancy, joy, excitement, love. What more could anyone want in life, right? So that's what I'm focusing on. We also have a new beginning, a new opportunity to release what no longer serves us and step into what it is that we want to be, right? Right? While we could do this any time in our lives, there's something about the new year that happens. There's the astrological year, there's the Chinese Chinese New Year. Now we're in the year of the horse, and not only are we in the year of the horse, we're in the year of the fire horse, which means there's big energy coming in 2026, and it's good because in numerology we're in a number one year again. So we're starting new, we're starting fresh, we're starting new. Last year, the year of the snake, we were releasing what didn't serve us any longer, right? We shed our skin in December. It was a numerological year 9, which is an ending. So we are starting with this new and exciting newness in life. And that fires me up. That fires me up. So we're going to talk about the personal inner today. The personal inner. And specifically, I want to talk about, has anybody read this book, Braiding Sweetgrass? I just ordered it. You just ordered it. This book is fantastic. I've listened to it 3 times on audio. It's just so much fun. I love the stories. I love to just listen and see what's going on. And it kind of connects to that personal inner. See, in the book, in the story, Maple Sugar Moon, it said that the Patwani Indians learned to make maple sugar from the squirrels. From the squirrels. See, now the squirrels take to the treetops and they gnaw on the branches of the sugar maples. And that scraping of the bark allows the sap to exude, right, from the twig, and the squirrels drink that. But the real goods come the next morning. See, when the squirrels go back to the same twig, the same spot where they were scratching the next morning, what has happened is those sugar crystals have frozen. And when it freezes, the maple and the water actually separate into one drop. So it's like licking a sugary ice cube for a while, and then you get to the gooey maple syrup. So they follow the same circuit that they did the day before, and they lick up those sugar crystals that formed on the bark overnight. So sugaring is a practice of patience. The squirrels know, they gnaw on it. It starts that drippy process. They do it in a bunch of branches all the way around, and then they come back the next day and they nourish themselves on that sweet, sweet, sweet maple. It's the same thing when they're practicing, when they're getting the sugaring out of the tree, the maple tree. The sugaring is what they call it. You have to wait for all of the elements to align to create something magical. You need to wait for the sap to run. You need a combination of warm days and freezing nights. And warm is a relevant term. 35 to 45 degrees Fahrenheit is what they need. So the sun thaws the trunk, and starts the flow of the sap inside. And that's when that plink, plink, plink starts to happen in the buckets that are hung on the tree. The spout purist pound, the spouts that the purists pound into the trees to let the sap drop into those metal buckets, they let them drip, 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 and then sit overnight. And again, it separates. What they've learned is in the morning, they go out and they pull the ice off and toss it. Because that's not the syrup that they want. They toss it. So night by night, that sap becomes more and more concentrated. So everyone, the people, the trees, the weather, even the squirrels, each a part of the oneness to create the wonder that is maple sugar. As I was reading the story, I was amazed by how much of the plink, 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 those drops of the sugaring coming out of the tree, how much it actually takes to make maple sugar. Now today there's this huge process, right? Where it's not the plinking into the metal buckets. Today it's hoses and cables and they're running into a barn that's processing 24/7, right? But you can still, if you have maple trees on your property, we don't out here, but if you have the sugary maples, you can still do that. You can still do that. I love the idea of this because it forces us to slow down. You know, I've heard in many centers that we live in the microwave society. We want things now. We want things now. We want things now. When is the last time you boiled water over a fire? Okay, maybe while we were having our power outages, right? That's how I boiled my tea, my water for my tea. But when power's running, when's the last time you boiled water over a fire? It takes a bit. You can't just take your mug of water that comes out of your tap and stick it in the microwave for 2 minutes. You have to think about it. How am I getting my water? Because my pumps aren't working. And then how am I going to heat it up? I have to start a fire. Right? It takes patience. If you're in a hurry, you're not getting tea or coffee that morning. Right? That's what the science of mind teaches. That sometimes we just have to slow down. So the science of mind, in the same vein, says the mind which we discover within us is the mind that governs everything. This is the thing itself, and we should recognize its simplicity. That's in the Science of Mind textbook. We call it the textbook on page 34. Right? Ernest Holmes says that mind, also known as the thing, spirit, causation, is beyond, and yet not beyond our grasp. He says beyond in that it is so big, and within in that wherever we grasp at it, we are it to the extent that we grasp it. He was quite the wordsmith, wasn't he? He goes on to say that, but since it, capital I, is infinite, we can never encompass it. We can never encompass all that there is, God, and yet we shall always be in God and of God. That's the thing itself. The thing itself is that one mind, that one power, that one presence. Call it whatever you want. Right? And we get to be a part of it. It's said that we're made in the image and likeness of God, right? If we're made in the image and likeness of God, then we too are perfection in human form. Oh, but Eileen, does that mean I am God? No. No. We are of it. We are not it. I talked last year about it's like the sun, right? We could see the sun, maybe not today, but we can see the sun, and we know that it has rays that's coming down and lighting things up. We are the rays. We are the rays of that. When I recognize it that way, I can go, oh, I'm that individual beam of light, blended in with all of your individual beams of light. We're all a part of it, yet we are not it. So let's say it this a different way. Each person is an individualization or a unique expression of this mind. As we think thoughts and emotions and intentions, the law of mind responds by reflecting those intentions back to us. What we think is being reflected back into us. Has anybody ever had a desire for a specific kind of car? Yeah. I had a desire for a Ford Mustang, and it was this funky greenish gray color. And I decided that was the car I wanted. It was really, really sexy looking, really sexy looking. And every time I would look up, I'd be sitting in a restaurant with friends and I'd look up and that car would drive by. I'd be on the road and I'd start to think about that car again, and then I would see it drive by. Everywhere I looked, I'd see this Mustang, and I was like, why do I keep seeing this Mustang? Because that's what I really wanted. That's what I wanted until the day I decided, no, I don't really want the Mustang. What happened? I stopped seeing that Mustang. It was the weirdest thing. Why does that happen to us? It happens because we're focused on that thing, right? We're focused on it. So our thoughts and feelings and emotions and intentions are reflected back to us in what we experience and what we see and what we hear in the world. As we think thoughts and feel emotions and intentions, in this way, the universe supports us, conspiring for our good, rearranging the world and creating synchronicities to make way for our intentions. What we think can change things, right? So engaging the law of mind is a natural process. As we've been doing all our lives with every thought, we can choose to use the law more intentionally through thoughtfulness about what we are thinking, what we're feeling, and what we're believing. Importantly, the law works equally for everyone. It doesn't just pick you or you or you. It works the same for everyone. I like the saying, the universe says yes, yes, yes. Because what I put out into it, it's going to feed back to me. It's going to feed back to me. Holmes also wrote, the mind which we discover within us is the mind that governs everything. This is the thing itself. And we should recognize its simplicity. It's simple. Put out there what it is that you want to receive. Or as I learned in a very young age, the golden rule, right? Treat people the way I want to be treated, right? Be the change you want to see in the world. You ever woken up and thought, oh, today's not a good day. And then it becomes not a good day? Yeah, it happens. Yesterday, the wind's blowing. It's raining like crazy. And I have a tree crew coming out to take out some trees. And I'm laying in bed and I'm watching these trees just huge, huge bull pines that are at their end of their life. And they become a danger Some of them are in my neighbor's yard that have become a danger to my house too. So my neighbor and I got together. We brought this team in. And my husband comes in and he says to me, I'm really worried about those guys up in the trees today. I don't think they should be up in the trees. And I said, I agree. And I know that they are smart enough not to get up in the trees. They're the professionals, not me. And he says, I'm really worried. And he was doing this. And I said, Mark, what if you weren't worried? He says, but I don't want them getting hurt. I said, I know, me either, honey. But I said to him, they're the professionals. And he went, you're right. You're right. They're going to show up and they're going to say, we're not climbing the trees. We'll do something else today. I said, yeah. They did not climb the trees. But man, they cleaned up that forest like you wouldn't believe, right? They did their job. And it was so fun to watch. I mean, I was doing it too. He was out there like a little kid, watching as each tree came, watching how they were trimming it from below, watching how they were bucking up the trees. It was like a little kid watching big trucks or something. It was joy-filled. And I said to him at one point, I said, how are you feeling? He goes, I'm so happy today. I said, are you? He says, yeah, I woke up worried. But then we both remembered they are the professionals, let them do their job. So I get to watch. It's so exciting. As a city boy, he's not watched this before. It was fun. It turned into joy and celebration. As we'd watch one dead tree come down after another, we'd cheer. And the crew would be on the ground and they'd look up at us as we were cheering. Right? Great, perfect drop, exactly where you said you were going to put it. We were celebrating. We were celebrating the work that was being done. Just like the Potawatomi people. We're celebrating that plink, plink, plink. Right? So our experience of life, it's expanded when we are consciously aware of our connection with all creation. When we can be aware of our connection with all of it. I had a friend of mine, Peter Montano from Colombia. Peter was in my classes from my very first foundational class all the way through prep training. And we were prayer partners. We were study partners. We were great friends. Peter was away from his family. His family was still down in Colombia. Peter was here working on the family business. And we got to experience a lot of things together. But he had a love of science. And he shared with me that there are 3 basic elements in everything. I forget what they are right now. Somebody in here will probably know. But there's 3 basic elements that are in this podium, in this microphone, in this piece of paper, in this speaker. And it's also the same 3 elements in me. It's the same 3 elements in the bowl. There's not a mistake in that. There's not a mistake in that. We are made of the same things that everything we see around us is made from. So when you can walk through life with that experience and think, I'm connected to this beautiful redwood, this ancient redwood that this building is made from. When you can walk and you see that little weed coming up in the cracks of the sidewalk, and when you can recognize that you and that weed are one, when you can see the face of the person that is creating discord in your life and recognize that you and they are one, it shifts things. It shifts things. We are each fully supported in life. And we can also be a part of that support that ripples out. Those ripples are important. A Heart Math Institute in Palo Alto has actually done studies that says that what you're holding in your heart affects people 10 feet away from you. I think they've since then expanded it. But within 10 feet, people are going to feel your energy. Do you ever notice that? Yeah, I've noticed it. Oh, I'm cranky today. I need to shift that. Sometimes I just do this. Ouch. Right? I need to shift it. Do I want to, my favorite saying, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? I say that to myself. Eileen, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? I want to be happy. It's a simple choice and you can change it like that. So when we're in a room like this, we're raising the vibration, right? We're coming in, we've got music that is lifting us up. We get hugs, we get amazing prayers, we are welcomed. We know that we are welcome here. Our vibration raises. And we get to carry that through the rest of the week, rest of the day. Maybe it's the next 10 minutes. The more that we open up to it, the more it becomes a part of who we are. We can choose to partner with the universe in supporting all who live with us on what the natives call Turtle Island, North America. From the vulnerable plant life to the health of our water systems. See, that divine source, it invites us to ask ourselves questions like, how do I experience being a part of all of creation? And how am I being a point of synchronicity for all life? Once, or as we connect with this core tenet of science and mind, we're invited to remember in this oneness are all people, all inhabitants of life. And with our thoughts, our beliefs, and our actions, we use the law of co-creation. In addition to our own experience, our choices impact our world and all who call it home. So always remember to create with good in mind. One of the things that comes up often is all thought creative? Is all thought creative? I'm going to say not necessarily. Because if I'm sitting at a restaurant and I'm looking at the menu and I'm thinking, God, wow, hamburger really sounds good. No, but I'm going to have the calamari. Maybe I'm going to have the chicken salad instead. Ooh, with that ice cream. Right? So I'm thinking all these thoughts into the universe. If I pull my menu away, those items are not going to show up in front of me. But if I decide that, you know what, I'm really craving clam chowder today, I'm going to go find it and it's going to satisfy that craving. If I'm craving inner connection with people, I'm going to leave my house and just go be among people, right? Or I have so much, my cup is so overflowing. I want to go for a walk out here on the trail and I'm going to sing. And I'm going to uplift. I'm going to sing one of Martha's songs. I'm going to sing what's in my heart, right? And share it with the world. And share it. Thich Nhat Hanh taught a walking meditation about very gently putting your heel down and feeling every part of your foot as it touches the earth and really connecting with the earth with each step. When I could connect with the earth, when I could ground myself in that way, oh, I feel unstoppable, right? When I can connect with all that there is, I know that I'm on the right path. So as we go about our week this week, here's what I'm going to ask you to do. First, reflect on your connection with the natural world. How do you experience your oneness with all life, and how can you expand your awareness? And this week, explore new ways to engage with fellow members of creation. Think about what small actions can you take to be of support to the world around you. For example, you could put out a bird feeder for the native birds. You can plant some milkweed. You can remove insects and critters kindly and safely from your home or office. Right? You can pick the parking lot where you are parked to go do your shopping and grab a few pieces of trash and put them in the trash bin. When you're out for a walk, carry a trash bag with you. Pick up a couple of pieces of trash and put them in the receptacle appropriately. You can connect and give back to the planet and the people around you in simple, simple ways. So I encourage you, if you have a copy of The Science of Mind, read the first chapter, The Thing Itself. It is also available online. You could look at it that way. And I'm sorry, I've got to laugh. This is my mother's book. And in here, she has the first 4 chapters charted out, which is really funny. So I'm going to have to see if I can chart that in a way, because she was an elementary school teacher. So her brain would think in a way that would always make really good sense to me. So I'll have to see if I can read some of this and chart it out. Yeah. Think about what energy are you putting out into the universe, and what do you want back? And how could you be a part of that simple exchange? Let's pray, shall we? So knowing that there is one source, one power, one presence, one energy that is in, through, and around each and every one of us, I call it God. I call it divine source. I call it energy. I call it love. It is all of these things and more, and no matter what you call it, it is the thing itself. That thing that is bigger than we could ever imagine, and yet so simple that it is a part of who we are. So I know for each and every one of us that we can very simply open to all of the gifts of the universe. There is no pie to take a slice from. The whole pie is available, and it is never ending. It's for those who are desiring abundance in their life, no matter what form of abundance that is. May we declare that so. For those that are desiring health and wellness in their life, let us know that that is already done. For those that are desiring to release the past so they can step forward into the new, let's know for them that the newness awaits. I know for each person in this room, exactly what it is that you are looking for is available to you. Exactly what you are looking for is available to you. All you need to do is ask for it and trust. Ask for and trust the divine presence to reveal to you your answered prayer. Ask for and trust that it may not come in the form that you're looking for, but it will always come, and it may surprise you in beautiful ways. So in your heart, ask for what it is that you desire. Ask for what it is that you would like to see that makes the world a better place, and your part in it a more pleasurable one. And as you do, it's so very important to sit in gratitude, gratitude for all that there is, gratitude for the gifts that are available, for the opportunity, the knowingness that you can even just simply ask and it shall be revealed. We sit in gratitude, knowing that there is something that is conspiring for our greatness. There is an energy, a source that is conspiring for us, not against us, for us. And as we choose to step forward into that, we do so in gratitude. A gratitude that feels like being humble. A gratitude that feels like a very quiet thank you from the bottom of my heart. And so as we say, thank you, Spirit, thank you for hearing our prayers, for knowing the good that is available to us. We just simply release this prayer, knowing that that divine God is already on it, that there is nothing else we need to do but let it go and trust. And together we can do that by simply saying, and so it is. Thank you.